Welcome back to Citrus TV News. The Carrier Dome was quiet for once on a Saturday afternoon with the SU football team on a bye week. But today the focus turned to facing Akron this weekend. After 2 straight losses to South Florida and West Virginia, the Zips can be considered a relatively easy opponent. But the focus for head coach Doug Marrone is on his team.
I want to make sure we get on we get on track and really concentrate on what we need to do. Because if we don't, it really doesn't matter who we're playing, we're not going to win. If you turn the ball over like we have and you create those penalties. So we put ourselves in a bad situation, and it's a challenge for our football team to go out and execute well, and not make those penalties. We don't want to be known as that team. We don't want to turn the football over. I don't think anyone that sits in a seat that plays football here wants to be known as a player that's not a smart football player.
Just as a refresher, the SU offense has committed 10 interceptions and 6 turnovers off of fumbles. Saturday's game is the 5th of the team's 6-game homestand, and Akron is the final non-conference opponent for the Orange this season. The volleyball team, meanwhile, continued conference play on Sunday at Manley Fieldhouse, defeating Georgetown 3-1. The victory maintained SU's 9-0 record at home and extending the team's winning streak to 7 straight games. The first 2 sets were close, with the Orange capturing the first 27-25. Both teams were tied 11 times in the second, and after losing the third, the Cuse had a 9-point scoring win in the fourth and defeated the Oyas by 9 in that set. The win was a team's 7th conference victory, but more importantly, it was Coach Jing Poo's 300th win with the Orange.
It's great. We all have a really good emotional connection with Jing. We're pretty close with him, so it's exciting for all of us, and we love Jing. So,
yeah, I've been with Jing a long time, and he's definitely a great coach, and he's well deserving of that record, and I'm sure he'll get many more before he's done.
In field hockey, first place in the Big East was on the line between Syracuse and UConn on Saturday, and this one was not decided until the final seconds. The 2 rivals met in Storrs, Connecticut on the same field where the Big East championship was decided last year between these 2 teams. And after SU took a 2-1 lead in the second half, UConn came back to tie the game off a penalty corner. The Huskies had an 8-7 advantage in corners, while the Orange had to deal with playing 1 man down in the first overtime. But SU survived, and freshman Amy Key scored the game-winning goal in the second overtime. The Cuse is undefeated in conference play and extends its winning streak to 11 games. On the ice, the Orange weren't as fortunate. SU scored back-to-back goals, but it wasn't enough. Syracuse fell to the Huskies 3-2, but the team was able to bounce back and capture its first win of the season after a 3-1 victory over Providence on Saturday. So SU gained their first win there. In the NFL, everyone was looking forward to the battle of undefeated teams, with the Giants traveling to face the Saints. But the Big Easy proved to be too difficult for New York, as New Orleans won by a score of 48-27. Saints QB Drew Brees ended his 2-game streak with a touchdown throw by completing 23 of 30 passes and throwing for over 360 yards. The Giants, though, barely had the ball. The team was limited to less than 90 yards rushing, and they turned the ball over twice. New Orleans improves to 5-0, while New York suffers its first loss of the season. 2 other New York teams faced each other in a AFC battle. The Bills came into the game looking to snap its 3-game losing streak, while the Jets looked to avoid one. But rookie quarterback Mark Sanchez threw 5 interceptions. But the game wasn't decided until less than 3 minutes left in the overtime period. Ryan Lindell kicked a 47-yard field goal, making up for the one he missed at regulation, giving Buffalo the 16-13 victory. The League Championship Series continued this weekend. After winning in 13 innings, the Yankees traveled to Los Angeles for Game 3 of that series. That game is currently in progress. The score right now in the bottom of the 6th, 3-1 Yanks lead. The Phillies, meanwhile, resumes its series tonight after grabbing a 2-1 lead last night. Cliff Lee dominated the Dodgers, leading Philadelphia to its most lopsided win in postseason history. Lee struck out 10 batters and only allowed 3 hits. Joe Blanton starts tonight for the Phillies, while the Dodgers bring Randy Wolf to the mound, who has not pitched since Game 1 of the divisional series against the Cardinals. And if you missed it, here are some pictures from Midnight Madness on Friday night, the first of its kind at the Carrier Dome, which officially began basketball season. The women's team came in on a fire truck, while men's coach Jim Boeheim drove in a police car to the court. There were dunk contests, scrimmages, and plenty of action that took place in front of the crowd of over 10,000 people. And so, official start to the basketball season on Friday.
All right, Dave, now you had the chance to go to Midnight Madness on Friday. Where do you prefer it to be, the Carrier Dome or in Manly?
You know, I just love Manly Fieldhouse just for its intimate atmosphere. I mean, it's understandable for the men to play there because so many people aren't interested in the games, but Manly Fieldhouse is just so intimate, and, you know, just that fact of having, you know, being close to the athletes, I think it made Midnight Madness, like, very special. So putting it into the Dome, I guess it got more people in, but...
The event did sell out, so I guess it was a success for the...
But I'm going to have to agree with you. I thought that Manly was more intimate, definitely, and it seemed a little unorganized.
Yeah,
Friday night.
I think people, for the most part, like seeing the basketball team. They were happy to enjoy seeing the players out, and I think they're looking forward to a basketball season, especially after the football team. Still looking for the 3rd win of the season, right?
All right, thanks, David.
No problem.
Coming up at Citrus TV News Live at 6, find out what Halloween costume is causing a stir.